Elise Arellano, designer and founder of That Catholic Design, joins us today on The Gist. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
First of all, tell me a little bit about your story. You're a cradle Catholic and you have quite a journey.
Yes, so I am a cradle Catholic here in Texas, and also a public school teacher, a single mom, and I was abused as a child and later on abused as an adult. That later led me into my stronger faith.
How did that lead you into your stronger faith? Because for a lot of people, who have suffered trauma, a lot of times they would, separate themselves from the church.
I always had, my parents raised me in the faith, so we always went to church. However, I just felt disconnected. I went through the motions of Mass and didn't understand the meaning behind it. And I ended up going to a Baptist university where I was tested by my faith. I was asked questions and I didn't understand them. And then I realized I needed to understand my faith more. So when they asked these questions, it made me ask questions to a local priest or to a youth minister. And I just asked these questions to see how much I was actually supposed to be in this Catholic faith. And when I did that, I understand that I had a lot of deep wounds that I kept from myself and from others, hidden in the back, that caused me to sin. And when I came to that understanding of those deep wounds, the beautiful journey of suffering, and to be able to have this company through that suffering led me to some healing, which was an amazing journey that he led me through.
Tell me a little bit about that, because you just mentioned something, that beautiful journey of suffering. Hearing that, people who might be outside the church might say, oh, wait, what is she talking about? But you're really talking about embracing the cross with Jesus and allowing him to come in and heal you. How did that happen for you? And tell me a little bit about how Eucharistic Adoration and the Divine Mercy Chaplet played a role.
Sure. So when I became pregnant, and I was going through these journeys of not understanding a little bit later on about these wounds and the suffering. And I struggled financially. So what I did is for Christmas, I decided to start making my own gifts because I didn't know how I was going to buy these gifts. So what I did is I started using my gift that God had given me, which is being a graphic designer. I used that and I started building saints with my designs. And when I was using them, I thought, okay, I'm going to give these as gifts and see how they go. And when I gave them, I had a friend say, you really need to start this as a company. It's really meaningful. So I was like, you know what, I'll try it. I'll give it a try. And when I did, I started a website, like I said, background in graphic design. So it was a little easy to get in there and start the website, and it was paying for itself. But I realized as I was doing this, I was learning about saints. So I started learning about Saint Faustina and her love for adoration and then the Divine Mercy Chaplet. I didn't know about her. I did hear about the chaplet in a song one time and I fell in love with it, but it was just the moment. It was a season. It was a seed that he put inside of me. And when I started designing her and understanding her, I started reading these books and started going to adoration. And I would always sit in the back on the floor in adoration. And I would pray the Divine Mercy Chaplet. And I felt like a little child back in my 9-year-old self who was abused. And I was very angry with him. And so when I was going through this, I thought, you know what? I feel at peace here. I feel at peace through adoration. So then it became my lunch dates. I had these secret lunch dates with the love of my life, who began bringing me closer to him. And when I didn't go, I felt guilty because I didn't take the time to go see my love. So he always invited me and turned my car around, and I would come and see him through adoration. Once a month, twice a month. Then it became 3 times a month. And the chaplet, he was just exposing things through the chaplet with me and healing things through those. It was a beautiful journey to see.
And so you've maintained that company, That Catholic Design, while still being a teacher. Tell me a little bit about some of the things that you produce and how you're able to do it all.
Sure. While being a teacher, it was funny. I was actually teaching my students how to heat press. And all I had was a Catholic design that I had just made. And it is a public school, so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to show them anyway. I was very open about my faith and to my students. And so as we were learning, I had a picture of Saint Michael, whom I heat pressed onto, all I had was burlap. So I put it on a heat press and burlap, and I put it in a frame, and I showed them, look, this is something that you could do. You can put it on t-shirts. You can put it on whatever it is, a piece of cloth. And then it just became something I was designing, and people were evangelizing with it. And later on, it became masks, coffee mugs. I mean, just all kinds of different things that I felt Christ was leading me to, but being able to evangelize without words.
Absolutely. It's beautiful. Where can people find out more about not only your graphic design, but I know you're also a Catholic speaker as well. I mean, your story is incredible. And it just really speaks to God's grace. How can people learn more about you?
Yes, so I do have my personal website, which is elisearellano.com, where they can find more about me for speaking events. And that came later through the company. I was even in my deepest sins, and he called me to, start this healing process and be able to speak through Instagram, and then speak later on to young women, single women, and now mothers. And it's been a beautiful journey. So you can find me there, and also at That Catholic Design for any of our artwork that I also share with my daughter.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And you're very inspiring about Eucharistic Adoration. I agree with you. I mean, Jesus does change everything. And I'm really happy that you were able to share that with us and with the audience as well. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too.